Prepare for the unexpected, Trek fans. Season 4 of Strange New Worlds is bringing us a puppet episode. Plus, we're diving deep into the new Star Trek Khan audio drama. Let's boldly get into it. Hey everyone, Nick and David here from Sci-Finatics to talk about some other stuff that went down at San Diego Comic-Con on the weekend. We've already talked about the whole Starfleet Academy teaser trailer. If you guys haven't seen that, click up here and you can check out that video from yesterday.
Today we're going to explore the Season 4 teaser trailer for Strange New Worlds, which seemed to take things into a bit of a puppet-verse space, which will be interesting to explore. And we'll also be covering the Khan audio drama series, which will be releasing in September. So let's crack into it.
So for starters, David, we got it was very, very brief teaser of what is in store for us in Star Trek Strange New Worlds in Season 4. And it looks like they're taking a page again, following what, say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel did with the musical episode of that series. We had a puppet episode of, I think it was Angel, and it seems like they're going down the same road in Strange New Worlds for Season 4, doing a puppet episode of that show.
You heard me say hit it, right? Spock? Anyone? Did you go to Season 4 without me?
So whether the Enterprise is having another return to the improbability field, because they did mention in Subspace Rhapsody when they were having that briefing around the briefing room table where they were saying, are we going to all turn into bunnies, which was again a reference back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And a line they said in that episode, and Mbenga said, I don't want to be a bunny and all that sort of thing. Well, you're not going to be bunnies, but it seems like they're going to be puppets. There's a lot of wacky episodes in Strange New Worlds, isn't there? And this is going to be probably the one of the wackiest in the form of puppetry.
Yeah, and I just had a thought, Nick, too. It's kind of like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they had the improbability drive, and that was a bit of a series where, you could have a bit of humor and science in the same thing. But I think with Star Trek, I don't know, this to me feels a bit misplaced and we're getting a bit too much comedy within this. So I think if this is what they're leading with for Season 4, I'd be a bit concerned as to whether there's going to be quite a strong bias towards this in Season 4. But it's kind of like Muppets in Space Revisited. It's interesting to see as a segment, but whether we want an entire episode dedicated to this, that's probably a bit of a question.
If it was done like those old scientist episodes in Season 2, how we got a little bit of animation at the start and we got a little bit of animation at the end, and then all the rest of the episode was live action. If it's kind of done like that, I can probably go with it. But if the entire episode is the crew as puppets, come on. We've only got 4 full seasons of Strange New Worlds left. We're watching Season 3 now. We've got Season 4 being a full season. And then Season 5 only has 6 episodes in the entire season. So we're not actually getting that many more episodes of Strange New Worlds left. And it kind of feels to me, should they be wasting episodes on silliness like this that just feel like they're stealing the homework from Buffy and Angel in things that they did in that TV series?
I wouldn't do this as part of the actual series itself. As you say, there's too few episodes to go to really, thread the eye through the needle until we get to the end of this journey to waste on comic experimentation, if I could put it that way. I think it's detracting from where we need to take the characters, which, let's face it, are probably going on some pretty serious journeys as we know how they're going to play out.
Exactly. And the fact that we know the closer we get to the end of the series, we're going to have to broach subjects like Pike ending up in a wheelchair, broach subjects like Mbenga being dismissed as the chief medical officer, which obviously have a sort of a serious weight to them. Throwing wacky puppets, hey, I'm a puppet, in the middle of that. I think it will undermine a lot of the credibility for the characters and the series. So it kind of greatly worries me.
And we could also see some casts no longer with us. I mean, it's speculative on whether some of the characters that we see, like Laan and Ortegas potentially, whether they do end up going beyond the current series. So I think it's the wrong framing to put into these few seasons that we've got left and the fewer episodes that we've got left in TAC tackling this sort of space. Even if it's Jim Henson's company doing it, I think that gives a certain qualitative approach to it and a novel approach to it. I mean, it's, as a kid, I would have loved to have seen, I guess, Star Trek, miniaturized down and puppetized. That would be quite a novelty. But I think, that's what it is. It's a novelty.
It almost feels to me like this puppet business would have been better served to be part of a Lower Decks episode where it was done with Boimler and Mariner and whatnot. We get an episode where they all become live action puppets for an episode rather than 2D drawn animation. That kind of feels like it would have been a good foray to do a live action puppet show with the Lower Decks cast. That to me would have fit, but I don't know, it kind of just feels like a little bit of a step too far for Strange New Worlds, who are quite renowned for taking big swings in their episodes, but I guess if you take a big swing one too many times, you're going to strike out. I'm Captain Point and I want Enterprise!
Gone! This is Star Trek Khan, the untold story of Star Trek's most legendary villain.
Our next topic of conversation is this Star Trek Khan audio drama that is going to be releasing in September. I gave us a little trailer for that. The first thing that kind of struck me when watching this audio drama teaser, I guess you would say, is that yes, it's got a really good pedigree of voice actors. Obviously, we've got Naveen Andrews, who played Saeed in Lost. He's playing Khan in this.
Kirk did us a favor. From this quintessence of dust, we will rise.
We've got George Takei playing Captain Sulu.
What is it you hope to achieve here? Khan and his people are dead.
We've got Tim Russ playing Ensign Tuvok.
Vulcans find it incredibly difficult to lie. Why this renders us especially sensitive to the lies of others, I am not aware.
Because obviously this is stuff going on when Sulu's captain of the Excelsior, no doubt, because obviously we saw Ensign Tuvok on the bridge in that Voyager episode for that show. We've got Ren Schmidt, who plays Margot Madison in For All Mankind, providing a voice to this show.
The simple fact remains that we are both here now and must find a way to share this world and its dwindling resources.
So there's definitely a good array of acting talent. I'm not sure about you, David, but I kind of feel like I have zero excitement or interest in this show. I don't know, I can't get excited about it. It doesn't interest me, despite having some big names behind it. And to me, the teaser trailer that released, some of the performances just seemed very, very over the top and cheesy.
Khan was one of humanity's greatest mistakes, a product of ill-advised genetic manipulation.
Laying the cheese on thick for this audio drama. What were your impressions?
Yeah, look, I think within that medium, it's you're not visually seen. So I guess you're trying to compensate for that somehow. I don't think by overdoing it is the way to do it, so to speak.
If there is any justice in this universe, one day we might avenge ourselves, starting with Captain James T. Kirk.
Look, I think, as you say, they've got some good names in it. If we were seeing these people visually on screen, I think this would be quite great. Yeah, there is a bit of overcompensation in the audio stakes, if we could call it that. But it just sort of makes me want to jump up and go, Khan.
It's just a little bit over the top, isn't it? I think everybody is putting on I am acting, I am performing, I must put on this very put on voice, Khan! So yeah, even though it's not far away, it's obviously releasing in September, which will be, I guess, after Strange New Worlds finishes. But yeah, I'm just really struggling to get interest or excited in any way about this show. Where this show is set really doesn't seem to make sense to me, because it seems like it's set on set at Alpha 5, and my initial thoughts were it's set in that time period sometime after original series when the Enterprise abandons them on the planet, but sometime before they get discovered by Captain Terrell and Chekhov, for example, in Wrath of Khan. That's when I would have assumed this series was set. But hang on, we've got Captain Sulu on the Excelsior and Ensign Tuvok as established in Voyager, which obviously takes place around the time of Star Trek VI Undiscovered Country, when they've already vanquished Khan and all of his followers and everything. If we've got Khan and all of his followers on SETI Alpha 5, technically speaking, this show should be taking place before Wrath of Khan. So that doesn't quite make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. I think you're dead right. I mean, because we had Space Seed set in 2267 when we had Khan and his cohorts marooned on SETI Alpha 5. Then we had, at the other end of that, the Wrath of Khan movie where Khan was offed in 2285. So that's the end of Khan's story there. 5 years later, then we have Sulu taking command of the Excelsior in 2290 and then goes off gallivanting around smelling farts around the galaxy.
Cataloguing gaseous anomalies, excuse me.
But it kind of just doesn't make sense.
Unless they're going to introduce some sort of time travel component where the Excelsior travels back in time and has an encounter with Khan before the events of Wrath of Khan, that's about the only way I think you could do it.
But if they then do that, then how would that influence, I guess, the Wrath of Khan? Alter reality there, because then that's kind of like you're almost sort of doing potential damage to one of the greatest Star Trek movies that we've seen. This is where you're sort of harming your source material a little bit.
To be quite honest, I would classify an audio drama as falling into the same category as some of the novelizations. You wouldn't call it alpha canon. Treat this like a Star Trek novel, not official canon.
So I think Naveen Andrews would do a really good job at portraying a younger Khan, which would do justice to the iconic performance from Ricardo Montalban. But I think this medium is probably not the best format to convey this. It's a bit of a waste in a sense. I think this would be better as a fan film. I think that could really be done quite well. Another idea could be, why don't they do it like animation. Short. Yeah, do a bit of animation on it. I think that could also be another good opportunity.
I'll give it a listen to, but I think I'm going to treat it when I listen to it fan fiction, something that's non-canon, just a bit of entertainment that might be just a bit of fun to listen to.
Yeah, it's a good kind of way of looking at it.
But what did you guys think? Do you like the idea of having the Strange New Worlds cast being turned into puppets in season 4? Or do you think this is an absolute ridiculous idea? What do you think of the Khan audio drama? Will you be listening to it? Are you excited for it? Or do you not care so much for this as a concept? Leave your thoughts in the comment section and we'll get chatting about that.
And if you haven't done so, don't forget to subscribe and also check out the great deals in the merch store. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next time.
We'll see you then.